How are you meeting yourself in 2026? Like truly, authentically meeting yourself. Today we are traveling to the world of healing and growth, and we're going to do a fun little art and journaling practice that is all about intentions, setting kind intentions for ourselves that are deeply rooted in self-love, that we can use as support and guidance as we step into a new, busy, noisy, overwhelming year. So let's grab our supplies and let's get started. Hello, traveler of worlds, and happy new year. It is officially 2026, and this will be the very first this will be the very first yoga for the creative mind session of this year. I don't know about you, but I feel slightly overwhelmed by the world coming back to life. It's an overstatement. It sounds dramatic, but it kind of also feels that way, like everybody is going right back to their hustly bustly seasons, and like they're planning and setting their goals and like thinking ahead, and oh, how do you want this year to be? What do you want to accomplish? These kind of things. And there's absolutely nothing wrong in that. I am this kind of person myself. I love setting my goals. I love having dreams and kind of have a vision of what this year should look like, or what I'd like for it to look like. But I also know I am the kind of person who so easily gets overwhelmed by all the noise. And so this year I'm doing things a little bit differently. I want to set very clear intentions that I want to use as like a home base for myself. I want to create this little page with intention, and like that is created from a deep respect for my inner child and for myself and the authentic life I wish to live. I want to have it as a home base, as a symbol, as a reminder that I can turn to when I kind of get caught up by the outside world. So if that sounds interesting to you, let's do this together. Let's make this together. You don't need any art skills. You don't need any fancy art supplies. Absolutely not. You can make this as a very simple graphite pencil page written in your journal. You can make it just a colorful page in your sketchbook. You can combine the two. I today will be using my Portal of Becoming journal. This is a little self-promotion here. I have a little art and healing kit that is all about honoring your past, finding peace in the present, and looking towards the future with hope. I made this little kit I have a mug, I have a candle, and I have a journal. And the intention with it was that I have this home base, this anchor in my everyday life to find peace and find presence again when things get too loud. So I will deliberately be using this right now because it is such an intentional art practice that I plan on doing. Anyway, so I have my sketchbook. I will be finding some nice colors in a minute and find whatever I feel like drawing with. And we're just gonna have some fun. Like, you literally can't do this wrong. I will be guiding you along, and then you can tweak it and use it however you like, however it suits you. So, just before we get started, I do highly recommend that if you don't have the art and healing kit, you can make one yourself. Just grab your favorite sketchbook, your favorite piece that you like to use in your journaling or your art practice, and say like, here, this is my anchor for this year. These items right here, when I use these, it's a signal to my brain that I right now can just be calm, and right now just need to comfort myself because things are too overwhelming. Use this kit as an anchor in your everyday life, because it's so easy to get swept up by everything. And then it's even more important that we have something to hold on to that reminds us of that it's okay to just be here and to just be right now. So I have my journal here, and I will be reading what's at the beginning of it so that you can play it back if you'd like, and you can write it in your own journal. It's just an oath. It's an oath you give yourself for your journaling and your art practice this year. So it goes like this. I hereby declare this journal to be my inner safe haven. This is a judgment-free space where I treat myself with kindness and patience. Here I am always enough. Through every page I honor who I've been, and I gently grow into who I am becoming. And then you have a little spot where you need to sign. And it says, with this, I promise to meet myself with grace and love and honesty on these pages. So again, you don't need this journal to do this, but maybe you can play this video back and write it in your own favorite journal as an anchor, as a reminder, as a place to come home to whenever you need it. So I think it's time to do the little practice. So I'm gonna get set up, and yeah, we're gonna get started. I'd like to give you a gentle little nudge, an invitation to clean up your space a little bit before we get started, just to have a bit of empty space around you. That, for me personally, I also get like subconsciously a bit of empty space in my head that leaves room for contemplation and reflection when I do my little art practices. So I can highly recommend that. And also, you can use any art medium that you enjoy. The only thing I would like to recommend is to use something that you feel truly comfortable with, that is effortless for you, because this little intention practice is all about the feeling that we have whilst we do it and not the result. So don't use mediums that makes you anxious. Use mediums that you just truly enjoy and have fun with. So I have set up my supplies. Oh wait, now I just need to find a page. And I will be using a graphite pencil today and some beautiful watercolor crayons that I received from my sister-in-law for Christmas, which I'm really excited to use. Now, as you can see, I have not chosen that many colors, and that is because I personally want to keep this as simple as possible. Like, this is not for me to make an elaborate art piece. This little practice for me is just here to set my intentions, to have a page that I can come back to when I feel like I get a little bit lost in the noise. And yeah, so I'm just very intentional with my choice of colors. I am not doing or like choosing anything that's overwhelming. I'm just keeping it simple. And so yeah, get yourself a page in your sketchbook, or maybe you have a piece of paper that you're working with, or maybe even a canvas. And just take a moment here to look at the white page, which might be overwhelming, but we are here together and we're just here to have some fun and to tap into how we're truly feeling and our anticipations for the new year. So just look at your page and see if you can find some calm on just the whiteness here. Now, we have skipped our deep belly breathing for today. I will remember that next time, but for now, just maybe be a little bit more focused on your breathing. Breathe a little bit deeper, breathe a little bit slower. We're just here to relax and find some peace. And as you might feel that you are getting a bit more grounded, perhaps, maybe you feel a little bit more present, I want you to start envisioning a shape. Think of a shape that kind of feels like home. That might be a difficult thing, but okay, a shape that feels comforting to you. So it could be just simply a circle. It can be a square. It can be a heart or a star, or maybe if you're an artist, you have more elaborate shapes that you enjoy and find comfort in. But think of a shape that is comforting to you. To me, it's a heart. Cliche, I know, but I love hearts. Every time I see a heart, I don't know, I just feel reminded of the life of love that I want to lead with and live through, and how I'd like to be towards myself and towards others. So, when you feel ready and have thought of a shape, for me it's a heart, draw that shape on your white page and make sure that you like fill the page pretty big with it. Like not just a tiny heart in the corner, but like really make a big. Doesn't have to be a beautiful shape, doesn't have to look good, remember that. These little yoga for the creative mind sessions are about the practice itself and like the experience of doing it. It's not about the outcome. So just make your shape. You can draw over the line several times. Doing these little mindful practices are an invitation to become aware of what you're actually doing, and using the experience of like the pencil on the paper, or your brush on the paper, or your brush in the water. Those are like sensory experiences that can soothe us and help us find some calm. So I got my big heart on my paper. And I'm just drawing a little bit more over it because I enjoy it. I just enjoy the sound of my pencil on the paper. Breathe a little deeper. Just be intentional with the things that you're doing. Today's all about intentions. Let your inner child speak. Let your inner child move. What does your inner child have to say today? So like I said, I would like for my inner child to guide me a bit more this year. Or I want to, how shall I put it? I want to show my inner child a bit more respect this year. Acknowledge that she's there. Acknowledge her needs. So now we have our big shape. What are we going to do with our big shape? Well, not a whole lot, but I would like to invite you to think of your shape as like your home. This is you. This is your body. This is everything that you are inside of you is in this shape. And everything that's outside of the shape is the outside world. It's society. It's all the expectations that we think we have, all the to-do lists, all the accomplishments, the achievements, the things that people ask of us. It's all the world troubles that exist. This, outside of your shape, is the outer world. And everything within the shape is you. So, we're going to do this combination of journaling and art. Now remember, you can do this any way that you like. So if you don't feel like writing today, you can use color as your language, or maybe you can use lines as your language, or shading as your language. Like, you don't have to use words. This is more about the inner process that we're doing when we're doing this thing. So again, picture that everything inside the shape is you. And this is also where your inner child lives. And if you just sit for a moment and were to think about, or like I would rather say not think about anything that is outside of the shape. So society in the world doesn't exist right now. Everything that exists is just in here. It's just you. How do you want to live in 2026? How do you want to feel in 2026? What is it that your inner child needs this year in order to feel safe, in order to feel comfortable, in order to feel comforted, in order to feel loved? What are the things that you need inside of yourself in order to feel that way? Just take a moment to think about it. You don't need to come up with answers. Maybe there is no answer. Maybe you don't know, and that's totally fine as well. We are just putting the intention here right now to think of it, like create the possibility of figuring out what it is that we need to actually live authentically and truthfully and peacefully with ourselves. And allow yourself to breathe. Maybe you have whole sentences that come up. Maybe it's a word that comes up. Maybe it's separate words that don't make any sense but feel right for you that come up. Or maybe it's a color. Just see how it feels. How do you want to feel this year? If you don't think of outside circumstances or society or the world or pressures or accomplishments or goals, how do you want to feel? How do you want to live? How do you want to be? Also, completely off topic, I forgot that I put in a new candle. So I need to light that, or I want to light it. I love my candlelight when I do these things. And I'm lighting my light within candle because it smells heavenly of forest after rain. Okay, now I feel more settled. Yeah, okay, so thinking about how we truly want to feel and to be, if there is nothing in the outside world asking anything of us, how do we want to live? How do we want to be? How do we want to feel? For me, I think I really just want to feel calm this year. So what I'm going to do now is I'm thinking of the words. To me, it shows up in words, but again, for you, it might be a color. So if you also have the word calm, but maybe you'd rather have it represented in the color yellow or the color green, right? You don't have to use the actual word, you don't have to use the actual word. Just choose a color that represents that feeling or that thought or that word. But I will be writing calm. I think that's kind of a no-brainer for many of us. Oh, a calm with three. Wait, this isn't working. Calm. Again, I might just go over it several times to have the experience of the writing. But yeah, I'd really like to just become a more calm person. And for now, you don't have to think about how you're going to become the thing that you're writing here. It's not about that. It's just, how would you like to be? You don't have to have the solution or the answer. Just the thought of, the intention of how you'd like to be more, or live more, or feel more. And for me, it's calm. I would also like to be more joyful. I can't write today, it seems. I want to be more joyful. I'd also, fun enough, like to be more bored. Just the feeling of not doing anything. And maybe not even wanting to do anything. Just be bored. I feel like boredom is a beautiful invitation to be more present in your own life. So for now I have calm, I have joyful, I have bored. But again, it might look completely different to you. You might have completely different words. You might have excited. You might have disciplined. You might have motivation. These kind of words. We're all different people. We all have our different needs. The important point here is that these words, or the colors that you choose to represent these words or these thoughts, is in tune with how you truly wish to live. If you don't think about anyone or anything else, how do you want to be? How does your inner child want to live? How does your inner child want to feel in 2026? I have calm, I have joyful, I have bored. Inspired. I would love to just feel more inspired. It's a wonderful feeling to have. Inspiration feeds our creativity, so yeah. Again, I just draw things over, write them again and again. Just being intentional about putting it on the page and looking at it. And I think colorful. I think I'd like to be more colorful. I don't know why I'm saying it, like I don't know what it looks like to be more colorful. I don't know how I can become more colorful, but I know that the word colorful is something that I want to be a part of my year, just to be colorful. Colors make me so happy. So there we go. And you can, of course, pause the video if you need more time to think about whatever you want to put in your shape. Remember, the shape that you have, the inside of it, this is you. This is just you. This is just about your inner child, your mind, your heart, your soul, your authentic self, if you don't think about anything or anybody else. This is just you. The outside world is just a woo, la, la, la. We don't think about it right now. We don't need to think about the rest of the world right now. This is just us. And you can pause the video if you need it. You can also skip ahead if you think I'm a bit too slow here. I am pretty happy with my words. Yeah, I like my words. And I will start decorating this with colors very soon. But now it is time to look at the big picture, or look at the bigger picture. Now we're going to look at this as a whole. We have us, we have our inside, we have who we authentically truly wish to be. But that does, of course, change when we step out into society and when we let the world in. This all can get a little bit blurred. This can get a little bit dysfunctional. This can all become a little bit weird, and we forget that this is us, right? We forget that this is how we actually want to live because there's just so much clutter in the outside world. But I think the beautiful thing here is that we can use the outside world as a tool and a practice to feel this more. So if we kind of design our outside world in accordance to how we truly wish to feel, it becomes a beautiful unification of what life can be. I hope that makes sense. So what I invite you to think about now is you have your words or you have your colors on the inside of your big shape. What can we do in the outside world to feed this? How can we nurture these words? How can we nurture this shape that is us with tools and things that are accessible in the outside world? So, for example, a very practical, or like a very, I'm not sure if practical is the word, but like a very concrete one. I'm losing my English here, but we're going to go for colorful first for mine. If I want my life to literally be more colorful, I need to bring more color physically into my life. So I'm like already picturing like, oh, maybe I just want to buy a few more items of clothing that just have more color in them. I want to dress more colorful. Like, I'm the kind of person who never goes shopping. I never treat myself to like clothes that I feel comfortable in, because I kind of feel like it's a waste of money, which I know it isn't, but that's like a bad thinking that I have for myself. And so my first thought, just thinking about the word colorful, I want to be more colorful on the inside. And I know that I can enhance my colors on the inside if I also surround myself with more colors in my outside environment. So, for example, I can write colorful clothes. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm writing colorful clothes because it will feed the color inside of me. I know that it will. And again, I might go over it several times. But yeah, the gist of it here is take a moment to just sit and think, what are things in your outside world, in your environment, that can nurture the things that you want to be feeling on the inside? So, for example, calm. I know that, cliche, yes, but still very true, nature makes me calm. Being out in nature calms me down. Being away from people, being away from the hustly bustly life of, I don't know, cities and places and people and cars. I need nature to nurture my calm. So I write nature. And now I think you might start to kind of understand what we're up to here, right? Nature makes me calm. And so the idea behind this whole little practice is that we get a very visual representation of what we need to do in our outside circumstances to nurture our true authentic self, who we want to be, how we want to live. Because all of this can get so blurred when we're just going on our autopilot in everyday life, when we're not being intentional, when we just go, like it's always go, go, go. There's always things that are being asked of us. And so just having this page that shows how we can live more intentionally, that is designed exactly for how we want to live. In my head, it's like it's a nice reminder, it's a nice symbol, it's a nice place to come home to when we feel we lose ourselves a little bit. So just take a moment here, or take many moments, take as long as you like, and find the outside things that can nurture how you truly wish to live in 2026. Pause the video as often as you need. Take as much time as you like. Maybe you want a much bigger page. Maybe you're working with a much smaller one. Just adapt all of this to how it works for you. I'm in a minute going to start with my colors, because I do need a bit of color in this. But again, if you're just using an ink pen or anything, you don't need to use exactly what I'm doing. If you don't want color, you don't need to use color. If you just want to use color, you can make the colors represent different things. And it's like the possibilities are endless here. And this is the beautiful part of creativity, where creativity becomes a tool for us to heal, for us to grow, for us to reconnect with our inner worlds, inner emotional worlds. Yeah. So I have now, I think, all the things for now that I know that can nurture my inner world. So the next step I'm going to do, just because I enjoy it, is that I want to find, oh, I don't have it. I wanted to find a pen. Give me a second, let me find a pen. I have found my pen. Just for, again, the sensory experience, but also I feel like when I write things in pen, it's more intentional, like it's more on the paper. Right now, I feel I can erase it, I can change things. I don't want this to be able to change. This is like, this page is set in stone for me to return to when I need something to bring myself home. So I will now write everything in pen to have it set in stone, or set in paper in this case. And I just like the feeling, the sensory experience of writing things in pen. I think it's also so easy when we don't, like, in the moment when we feel calm, we can know the things we need to do to encourage and help ourselves when we're stressed or overwhelmed or sad or these kind of things. But when you're feeling these heavy emotions, we forget the things we need, that we actually need, and we might start grasping and doing things that are more a distraction and maybe even make these heavy feelings worse. Like, we reach for our phone, we reach for doom scrolling, we reach for binge watching, we reach for food that doesn't make us happy. And so I find that it helps a lot to have a list of the things you actually need in that moment, so that you visually can see the steps that you need to take, rather than having to make these hard decisions and think of these, because this is hard. Like, when things are heavy, it's hard to do the right things to nurture yourselves, and it gets even harder when we can't remember them in the moment. And so having it visually in front of you, having it somewhere where you see it regularly, I think does help to more easily reach for that when the heavy emotions show up. I am now kind of inked in everything, and it's not pretty, but it's authentic. It's authentic. It feels right to me. I kind of realized when I was doing this that this is almost like an inner child emotional vision board. Like, we are envisioning the life that we want to live in 2026, the authentic, true self life that we want to live. This is here. And here on the outside, we are giving ourselves the practical steps to nurture that and to get there and to be able to live like this. So yeah, let's call this an inner child vision action board. I like that. Oh, I also forget to ink in this one. So for this last part, we're just going to start using our colors. And remember that I said, try to keep your color palette somewhat limited. Like, don't overwhelm yourself with your choice of colors. But that being said, if you don't get overwhelmed by your choice of colors, then by all means use all the colors in the world that make you happy. I have just chosen a few colors that today felt very right. They are warm, they are bright, they are contrasty, and they just bring me joy to look at them. And I kind of want 2026 to feel like these colors that I currently have in front of me. So the next and the last step is very simple. Start coloring it in any way that you like. Start coloring in your shapes. Make bold can't talk anymore. Make bold strokes or small strokes. Fill it in big sections, or make very veldy. That is the Norwegian word for very. Veldy. Veldig. What I meant to say, make it as detailed or as non-detailed as you like. And just have fun using your colors. And try, if you can, to focus on the feeling of using them. How it feels to just use your brush or your pencils or your crayons, how it feels and how they flow on the page, like a little meditational art therapy session. I wouldn't call this art therapy, but it kind of also is. I am really liking my crayons, actually. It's very soft to use. I think I'm just gonna see where this takes me and just fill it in. I like this color. Choose colors that comfort you, that make your inner child happy. Something that just draws your attention. If you were to walk past a wall with this little inner child vision board on your wall, or emotional vision board, what kind of colors should you use then to attract your attention in a good way? I have done this in my daily journal, so I will probably see it almost every time that I write or draw in it, which is good. And if you can, please remember, or I invite you to see if you can make your own little art and healing kit. Find journaling supplies, find art supplies that bring you comfort. Put them all in one spot, and daily or weekly, take a moment, just a couple of minutes, to sit with it, to anchor yourself, to reflect on how you're feeling, to reflect on these words, to reflect on how things are going. Put the intention out there that you are treating yourself with love and kindness this year. And that whatever goals you may have in life this year, I hope you are able to prioritize your inner well-being first, and that doing things from a place of joy and of peace and relaxation, usually in my experience, gives you results that you could never have expected in a good way. Again, this page does not have to be pretty, obviously. I don't, my perfectionism brain does not think this is pretty, but my inner child brain and heart loves the messiness of it. It looks like a child has made it. And I want to lead with my inner child this year, so it's totally fine. Also, if you hear some weird sounds, I'm hungry and my belly is making noises. And just mix and match your colors, the colors that make you happy. Add more words if you feel like it. I like crayons. It feels very childlike. I like it. Can't remember the last time I used crayons for anything. Thank you, my dear sister-in-law. You knew what I needed before I knew it myself. So yeah, from now on, let's call this like an inner child vision board, where we just step back and truly look at how we want to live. If we don't have any expectations, if we don't follow society's trends or wants or to-dos or whatever people do these days, if we just listen to how we want to live and how we want to feel. How does that look like? What does that vision board look like? At the end of the day, our lives are our own, and we should live it in accordance to how we want to live it. And what other people do is up to them. But we do have the power, the strength, the capability to shape our lives in a way that feels right to us. But that does, of course, require and ask of us that we dare to stand out sometimes, that we dare to be different sometimes. But isn't that like the beautiful thing of being human, is that we are all unique, we have all different tastes, all different wants and needs and ways we like to do things. Why shouldn't we embrace that? I think that's what I like the least about trends. This is completely off topic, but it just takes away our individuality. And doing things like this, looking at how you truly wish to live, putting the intention out there that you will listen to your inner child and your true self this year. It also encourages your individuality and your uniqueness and your beauty to shine. I like how childlike it looks. Probably wasn't the best idea to go with the graphite pencil first because it smudges a little bit, but oh well. Oh well, oh well. There we go. I have my little tiny Frederica vision board. This is who I want to be. This is how I want to feel. This is how I want to live. I want to be calm. I want to be joyful. I want to be bored but feel good about being bored. I want to feel inspired. I want to be colorful. I'm sure there are other words I could add in there, but for today, I'm very happy with it. This just feels right. This feels like me. And here I've listed all the things that I can do to nurture this part of me, right here. So let me show you my little vision board. You have already seen it, but I'm going to show it again. See? There you have mine. This is my little inner child vision board for this year. How I want to feel, how I want to be. Oh, that's out of focus. And all of this around there is how the outside world can help me to be here. And like, all of this is not about that you're not going to think about big goals and grand visions and have dreams. Absolutely not. I just think that life can become so much more enjoyable if we put our authentic selves first. Like if we allow ourselves to prioritize the things that bring us joy and calm and peace, that nurture our inner child. I think a lot of us kind of get swept in, especially during the New Year's, right? That we need to get ourselves into a disciplined shape. We need to become disciplined and have structure and like kind of beat ourselves up to get to these goals. It has to be hard, it has to be painful. And sometimes, yes, there's nothing wrong with discipline, but I think that we can actually achieve way more discipline and structure and routines if we do it in a way that is self-loving and self-kind and based on knowing how we function right now, where we're at right now, and doing the things that nurture or calm our peace. Anyway, I think you get the gist of it. I am very curious and would love to see if you feel comfortable, only if you feel comfortable. Would you like to share your little inner child vision board for this year? You can do so by tagging A Traveler of Worlds on Instagram. You can find the link in the description. And we also have a very wonderful, tiny little Discord community with amazing, creative, and kind and loving people. So if you would like to share your little vision board, but Instagram feels too daunting, feel free to check out our Discord community where you can safely share it as well. If you're new here and you want to become a Traveler of Worlds and you enjoy this little video, feel free to click the subscribe button. I'd love to have you as a part of this community. And yeah, I think that is it. Happy New Year, happy 2026. I'm so excited to get IMOVARA properly up and running this year. There is so much exciting stuff to come. So if you like, stay tuned. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for joining me today. Mwah! I'm proud of you. I'll see you next week.